All right, VV Nation, happy Friday. My name is Ryan. Welcome to the channel if this is your first time. Now, all week we've been talking about a lot of different stocks. Monday was bbai. No follow through from that video. Still looking at the pivot point. Watch the video, see if you can catch that pivot or if the stock even pivots. Tuesday, we had Newegg. That stock has skyrocketed, now reaching $40. That's right, a bag, one bag in a week. That video came out Tuesday. Tonight's presentation, I see a primary wave flashing down, so we're going to take it back to market timing. I want to keep you on the right side of the trade, especially if your whole ordeal right now is you bought stocks off the tariff bottom. A lot of these stocks are up 50, 60, even more percent, depending on what stock you're in. So I know you've got a lot of winning trades in your portfolio and really the question is now, when should I take profits? When should I heed warnings in the market? So I'm going to utilize the VectorVest 7 system and show you how, really to keep on the right side of the trade, utilize our market timing signals. We're going to dive into the market timing graph, use things like MTI, RT relative timing, the DEW timing signal. So if you want to get a good update on where the market's at and where the potential weakness is in the market right now, let's go ahead and kick this off and get started. All right, big event coming up. We got the Las Vegas 2-day investment seminar coming September 20th, 21st, 2025. You can achieve the VIP experience in person. Just go to VectorVest.com/Vegas to register now. All right, we're in the VectorVest 7 software. This is the homepage. This is what keeps you on the right side of the market. You see the upper left indices? Look, they're all down today, right? But one day does not equal a trend. That's not why I'm freaking out by any means. I'm not even freaking out really. But what we're seeing here is some weakness. If we look at the color guard, this is a color coordinated system here. It looks at the trends of these indicators. We got the price of the VectorVest composite, broad market, over 9,000 stocks in our database. RT looks at the momentum of the short-term price trend. BSR looks at the overall health of the market, right? All three of these indicators taking a breather today, a little bit of a pause. We haven't seen that since July 7th here, right? Doesn't mean that the market can't keep going up next week. No, it just means that today, probably not the best day to continue buying into the rally, right? We're seeing weakness in this rally. And more importantly, if you look at the MTI here, especially if you're new, this usually bottoms out around 0.6, but also gets top heavy around 1.6, right? Look where we're at. We're in the 1.6s. So if you just look at the chart of like SPY or QQQ, something like that, well, there are a lot more opportunities a couple months ago, right? When the MTI was low. A lot of us have taken advantage of this opportunity, right? You can see right here, the MTI, nice steady rise, lower left, upper right, since May. A lot of our market timing signals went up as early as April, right? Getting a lot of our subscribers and investors into the market early. And a lot of our customers, I've seen your stock picks. You're up quite a bit. So tonight's presentation, again, I want to keep you on the right side of the trade here. Now, I will say this, as far as enthusiasm today, it's currency, crypto. Bitcoin hit 118,000. You can see the industry here up almost 4%, 3.6% here as well. Aerospace and defense up 0.5%. So if you're in these positions, I'd be a little bit less worried, right? If you're in some other positions, electric, semiconductors, mega caps, industrials, things of that nature. Hey, even steel, look at steel here. The sector itself is down, but only the alloy industry is in positive territory, right? So again, that being said, the only thing we've got down right now is this primary wave is flashing down. Currently, the VectorVest composite at 73.4. We'd have to get a pretty substantial rally in the second half today to surpass the 73.9 mark, right? But come Monday, if the market holds, we only base it off the 73.3, right? So this could just be, a little whipsaw, so that's why I'm saying not be too concerned. But if this develops into something serious next week, definitely keep that on your radar. So if we get a gap down on Monday and price action stays below the 73 and we're seeing some follow through on this primary wave down, yes, this is our fastest moving market timing signal. Look at the market like an ocean, right? The top of an ocean, very volatile, a lot of waves, a lot of chop, right? Day traders, swing traders, very active swing traders try to take advantage of that chop, and that's where this primary wave comes in hand. Now, if you're more of a swing trader, intermediate swing trader, DEW, that's the signal you need to have on your radar. And we're going to go ahead and jump into the market timing graphs now. That way I can give you a better visual representation of the system. All right, here is a graph of the VectorVest composite. If you're new to the channel, this is over 9,000 stocks in our database. It's like combining the S&P, the Dow Jones, NASDAQ, Russell. All of these stocks together give you a better sense of broad market movement. Now, that being said, we utilize the DEW for our swing traders here. You see several different market timing signals. I talked about the primary wave. This is the fastest one, right? This gives you a lot of chop. If you want to smooth out that data, we've got the DEW here. And look, we're still in a DEW up signal and have been for quite some time here. You can see it came up April 23rd. That's what I'm saying. A lot of our market timing signals went up as early as April. A huge rally here, right? A lot of our subscribers, even you watching this, probably up a lot in your positions and considering taking profits, right? And that's not a bad thing at all. I want your head to be on a swivel right now. It's not going to be as easy as it was back in May and June during the rally, right? Now you need to protect your positions. If you want to hold them, think like covered calls or protective puts, right? Or if you want to cash out, hey, that is up to you. But as long as the price action stays above this 30-day weighted moving average, keeping us in the trade, you can see even the most recent pullbacks kept us in the trade here, right? The DPO stayed in positive territory, keeping us in the trade. DW, strong signal to have on your side, right? This is how a lot of our subscribers make money with the software. So as long as that DEW stays positive, price action above the 30-day weighted moving average, I'm not going to be too concerned at this time. I do have a level here in the VectorVest composite around 72.92. If we were to break this, I'd be a little bit more concerned, or at least be ready to see if price action breaks this 30-day weighted moving average, and then, shortly after with that downward price action, that's going to bring DPO into negative territory, giving us a down signal. But again, this is all hypothetical right now. If I go back to a year, we can see that the VectorVest composite still pretty close to those all-time highs at 74.78. I've said it before. I'm not going to be surprised if the VectorVest composite hits a new high. We've done essays on this before. The July high, the NASDAQ just hit a new high. S&P just hit a new high. The only laggard here is the VectorVest composite, right? And, well, it's composed of a lot of small caps, right? So that's kind of dragging the VectorVest composite to the upside. But you can see, we're pretty close to an upside right now. 74.78 is the high. Right now we're at 73.45. So price action can stay above this 72.89. Yes, I do see the VectorVest composite hitting a new high this month. Otherwise, if we see weakness and break this, I'm not saying go out and sell everything by any means. I'm just saying be concerned. Maybe, get the wheels of turning, on some defensive strategies. And when we get to that point, I will do a video on defensive strategies. So just want to keep that in mind here. So let's go ahead and jump over to our other market timing graph and take a look at our proprietary indicators and see what they're telling us. All right, now here's the bread and butter what I wanted to show you. We got the VectorVest composite up top. Down below, we've got our MTI, buy-sell ratio, RT relative timing. Again, these are the same exact indicators you saw in the color guard, but just to give you a better visual representation, right? Now, I'm going to take out the buy-sell ratio. Now, the first thing I want to show you is RT relative timing, right? RT went favorable as of May 12th, right? Letting you know that short-term is finally in the favor of the bulls, right? That trend finally turning around. You can see it was pretty negative for the most part leading up to this point right now. But the focus in tonight's presentation is going to be on the MTI, or market timing indicator. Again, the MTI, one of my favorite indicators. This thing has paid for itself by all means. Probably my favorite indicator in the VectorVest 7 software, along with the DEW and some of our other ones. But this is probably one of my favorite, especially, to make money, stay in the right side of the market. You can see right here, the MTI, it hit a low back at 0.36. Again, it works like RSI. Doesn't mean once MTI gets to 0.6, just start loading up, right? As you've seen with stocks with RSI, it can continue to go down. So that's why I couple this with a timing signal, right? A DEW coming off of these low MTI levels here. That is a recipe for success when it comes to the bulls. You can see the DW went up April 23rd, right as we broke this downward trend line here. After that, off to the races, had a nice level of resistance, broke through it, retested it as a level of support, and then now we are at 73.50. So again, you can see here, great optimal buying opportunity around this time. And to the adverse effect, if you look at MTI, The red lines up at the top, the zone here I have 1.5 to 1.6. This is not saying, hey, MTI is up here, sell all your stocks, freak out or anything. No, it's just saying, hey, have some caution right now. The market is top heavy. If you're happy with your profits, if you've met your objectives or your goals when you first bought these stocks, right? Consider selling them. Maybe tighten up your stops. Put a covered call. Put some insurance on these stocks, right? Now is a good time to, not start opening up defensive positions. That probably more next week if we get follow through from this primary wave down. But it's a good time to at least get the wheels turning, get the brain thinking that, hey, you know what? Maybe we are getting closer to the top. Best case scenario, the market keeps rallying, right? And we don't sell our positions next week or, get defensive, whatever it may be. We hit the July high for the VectorVest composite. That I have a feeling we might be hitting. But the only thing, and I don't mean to get political by any means, but the tariffs, right? They're coming back to fruition. I've seen Canada come out, tariffs on Canada. Chinese deal still not there. So we'll see. But the tariffs, we all saw how that played out in the beginning of this year. It's resurfacing now. So if you don't want to, risk volatility, if you don't want to risk your profits, start thinking about getting defensive. Now, again, my name is Ryan. I hope everyone has a great weekend, and I will see you guys next week, and we'll do a follow-up video on this and just see where that primary wave takes us. Have a good night.